Alright, so a few weeks ago I mentioned that I had something coming that was going to help me whenever I need to show both hands on camera. And this is basically it. So this is a Noga indicator holder. The way this works is this is a magnetic base, but you can turn the magnet off, right? So that's pretty cool. And then this arm is pretty stiff, but you loosen this up and now it's flexible in kind of any way that I need it, anywhere I need it to go, right? So I can set this up. Once again, easier with two hands. I need another one so I can show you how it works. You tighten that down though, and oh, I forgot a beat. Hang on. So it's just something I whipped up real quick. It's pretty crude, but the idea is it's got a dovetail in it right there, and there's just a bolt sticking through there. And so I'll be able to clamp my phone in here. Let's see if I can do it real quick. And just tighten this down by hand. I need to weld a little washer or something up on top of it. But both hands. Isn't that cool? So now I can set up, and whenever I'm working on something, like when I was working on the back the other day, I'll be able to set this up so I can actually show you guys what I'm doing when I'm working cows, stuff like that. You'll be able to actually see me doing the job. So pretty cool. And then this is, I can position this kind of however I need to in order to do the work. So hands free, pretty cool. So gone are the days of the shovel cam, because if I have anything magnetic on hand, like for instance the four-wheeler that I always have, I can just stick this to it. And then the other cool thing is the bottom of this is kind of a V-block, right? So if you have a round, you can clamp it on to anything round. So pretty cool. And then another cool note is that the back side of this is also part of the magnet, so you can really hang this thing off of just about anything, and I should be able to get any angle I need. So pretty cool. I'm excited to have that. So we're gonna start using it. So all right, let's go see if I can find somewhere to use it. So right after I said I need to find somewhere to use this, I looked over here and there's a huge wasp nest on my camper. I don't know how I missed that. So I grabbed my fly spray and I killed them all, and as they're all laying here dying, look at all of them. I realized that would have been the perfect first opportunity to set that up, and you can watch me, and in case I got stung by a bunch of wasps or something if that didn't work. So yeah, oh well, missed that chance. Okay, so I just realized what's going on here. It is this line that's leaking. I thought that this was yellow paint, right, that I was seeing on here. Upon further inspection though, that is actually a couple of braze repairs. So somebody has probably from arcing the starter, jumping that solenoid with a screwdriver or something, probably caught this line with their screwdriver and burnt a little hole in it. And then their solution was to just braze it back up. It looks like there's a little daub right there that somebody put on there, and then there's this one. So one of these, I think it's this top one here, is leaking, and that's why I have a leak on my power steering. So, with that in mind, I may just try to repair their braze repair. We'll grind that off, and I bet there's some porosity or something in there. We'll clean this line up real good, see if I can grind away all this material, and see if I can braze in a new patch on top of this. So, it's supposed to rain pretty much all week, which means that I don't really want to just leave these lines open. So I don't know if I'm going to take that apart right now or not. Let's see, which one is it? Yeah, so it's the one on top over there, and then I need to get down in there to that connection, the clean one. But this, I thought this was just dirty. I thought is what I was seeing, but this is actually, they've burnt all the paint away when they were doing this braze repair. So, okay, that's interesting. At least I know where that leak is coming from now. So that's an improvement. I guess. I still need to fix it, but we'll get it. On the pump, I still don't know. It's leaking pretty bad. And something else. That little puddle right there, that is gear oil. I crawled on there and looked at it, and that is the gearbox on the back that's leaking. So, that's unfortunate. I hadn't noticed that leak before. Maybe something that I've caused just from using it. It's right there. You see that drip? It's coming from that gasket. I don't think I can take that apart with the tractor assembled. I think I would have to at least, man, I don't know. Maybe I could. Let me get you a better look under here. You can see this is where it's dripping from, and it's wet all the way up to about here. So I think it's this gasket in here is leaking and dripping down. That's a tricky one to fix right there. So I would have to take this piece completely off, and I'll have to look at some prints and see what all's underneath there and what all I would be taking off. But you can see this has this kind of linkage in it right here. I mean, this is all just part of my transmission and slash differential. So I think really the only way to get to that, unfortunately, would be to actually split the tractor. Not cool. You know, or at the very least, I'd have to take this back wheel off over here. Probably have to remove this piece of the frame and then pull that whole axle off. Well, no, that's a separate piece. I don't know. We'll look into that, and honestly, that's something that may just not get fixed for a long time. I'll just have to know to put a pan underneath it whenever I park it for a while. So yeah, we'll do some research on that and see if that's something I can fix without taking the whole thing apart, the whole tractor, that is. So I don't want to have to do that, but maybe I can get that off of there. Man, that would be a nightmare to get it back on. That dude's going to be heavy, big heavy casting. So leaking pretty good though. It's not even been ran, so that sucks. That was my backhoe impression of Jimi Hendrix's Voodoo Child. Chopped it down with the side of my hand. Well, got quite a bit more done. So started opening the hole up that way. I need to kind of get that point. I think I'll just leave it for now though. So that's kind of what I wanted to get done over here. We'll touch that up later. But that was kind of what I was wanting to get done. And then next we'll start moving the pond out this way. So of course I'll have to get that big pile of dirt out of my way. Now we're supposed to start getting a whole bunch of rain this week, so I don't know if I'll be back out here. I mean, I might, even if it's raining, I might come out here and dig, you know, if it's not too bad. Yeah, even if it is, I might just put a rain jacket on and get after it. Won't be able to film it, of course. But I went ahead and moved the backhoe over there away from the hole just in case we get a whole bunch of rain. We could potentially get like 4 to 6 inches over the next couple days. So if that were to get weak and cave in and the whole backhoe fall down in the hole, that would be a real bummer. So went ahead and parked it way out of the way, way away from the hole here. And of course the old loader parking brake stabbed well into the ground, so it's not going to slide anywhere or anything like that. So all right, losing the light, so I guess we're done here for tonight. So see you guys tomorrow, hopefully. So it's been only about 3 days since I sprayed all this stuff. As you can see, I'm having a pretty good effect. So I mixed this pretty hot this time, and specifically because of these green briars. These things are very hard to kill. It's a very hardy plant, but you can see, I mean, they're wounded. So that's cool. Hopefully they die. These green briars are just the bane of my existence. This stuff right there, that's poison ivy. See, killed it real good. More poison ivy there. So that's awesome. That was kind of my main target. And now, for the record, even after this stuff's dead, if I touch it, I'll still get a rash from it. So still got to be careful. Hopefully that'll just kind of rot and break down, fall apart, and go back into the ground, and I won't ever have to mess with it. Whoa. Check that out. Huh. Look at all them bees in my water box there. That's kind of crazy. Jeez. Oh, note to self. We gotta get back in the water box. Approach with caution. Anyway, so just want to show you guys this. So just 3 days, and this isn't Roundup. This is it's Grazon and Remedy. Oh man, look at this. I just realized a bunch more poison ivy over here I didn't actually spray. I didn't see it the other day. So anyway, well, that's a tree. It's dying pretty good. I'm not sure what kind of tree. One other thing, let's walk over here. I sprayed this little patch of these green briars really good. I soaked them. This stuff, it's real invasive, and it pops up everywhere, and the vines grow all across the ground and trip you when you try to walk through them. It's just, man, it's a pain. And they're kind of thorny. These are looking really bad. So, look at all that. That's awesome. So a little bit younger plant here. See, it's taking it a lot worse. I'm a little surprised at how good of a effect I'm getting on this. You know, it's not dead yet, but I don't know. It's looking right. Now look at these. That kind of got caught in the crossfire there. Those were vibrant and green when I sprayed them. They looked like this one. I sprayed it too had I seen it. But anyway, pretty good effect. I think you can kind of tell here the contrast in the colors between the stuff in the fence and then the rest of the grass out in the lawn. One thing that's a problem in here is these things. All of these, I mean, these things, each plant is hundreds of seeds. All of these are mature seeds. So I didn't spray these to kill them. They just reached the end of their annual life cycle. And as you can see, focus, my yard is covered in them. It means I'm going to have that many more of them again next year. So I don't know what the best method for control on those is. Probably spray them early to kill them and then just keep them mowed. And it'll probably take years and years to actually get that sorted out. Hopefully though, I can get Bermuda grass growing in here again. You can see, I've kind of got a pretty good start. There's some big patches of it in here. So that's good. And eventually the Bermuda grass will help choke all this stuff out. For now though, you know, just kind of deal with it. Most of it's kind of like this. Not really any grass growing in here. So, that sucks. But it'll spread. Bermuda grass is also very invasive. It's a good kind of invasive though. It's invasive I like. So, more of it over here. Anyhow, just want to show you guys that. I think I'm gonna go check grass real quick, and we'll probably go ahead and move the cows, and then we'll go back to backhoeing. So see you in just a sec. So I was talking to my uncle, and he pointed out that you don't actually have to have this ground, you know, hooked up. in order to use this. Alright. So that's because that's on the ground over there. I forgot I haven't actually put that fence back up yet. So that's correct. That is directly grounded over there. We'll check it again. The other thing you pointed out is that this button, right there, that's to tell you how many volts are on it. Now, I think if I hook this ground up, does that change this? Yeah. So you need the ground to measure your voltage. So, okay. Let me go get this fence off the ground over here before it drains my battery. All right. Yeah, put the fence back up all the way. So, okay. So, 3,800 volts. That's what that's telling me. Let me put the ground back on here, though. I think it's actually a lot more than that. Yeah. So, closer to 4 kilovolts. So 4,000 volts-ish is what we've got on there. So now what that's measuring is the electrical potential between that wire and the ground, right? Now we switch this to amps. This is measuring current flow, so actual flow of electricity. As you can see, that's 0, and that's because there's no connection to ground anywhere. So it doesn't matter how much voltage is on it. It's not connected to ground. Electricity's not moving. Does that make sense? So, and that's what, to test that, and that's how you know if you have a problem. But you don't need a ground reference for that, though, right? Because it's just measuring the flow through the wire. Okay, so if there was a ground that way, then the electrons in the wire will actually flow that way, and this thing can actually measure that. As long as there's no connection to ground, it will still have voltage on it, but there won't be any amperage. So that's pretty cool. This whole thing's awesome. I like it. So, man, super easy. Just put that dude on there. Boom, takes your measurement. If you hook up your ground, then you get an accurate ground reading. Or an accurate voltage reading, rather. So that's kind of cool to know. So, very cool. So this would go down, if your battery was starting to die, and you might only see like 1 kilovolt or something like that. Kind of weird that that's less now than it was earlier. But anyway, pretty cool little tool. So, alright. This is happening. That's been dumping rain all over there. You can kind of see it. Can you see that? Right there. That's rain. So I think we're about to get rained on, so I'm gonna go ahead and go get the cows moved into here with me, and we may not go backhoeing today. I've got a couple other little things I want to get done real quick, so I might go do that, and then we'll see if it's raining and how hard. Yeah, decide in a second. Always takes them just a minute to find the hole in the fence. Number 2 is right there. She's usually one of the first to come in, and that'll be number 43 right there. One of the others that's usually first. Yeah, that got their attention. Yeah, look at that. That's number 41. She's another one that's usually pretty excited about new food. What's up, 34? Looking a little thin. What's the deal? I'm looking a little thin. 48 years. She looks terrible. What's going on? Okay, so they all immediately went and got in the pond. It's not that hot today, so they're not just trying to cool off. They're thirsty, and I know why. So let me show you. So this was supposed to be their water source. I had them gated off from the pond, so we're not going to do that anymore. Whenever I move them over here, and remember I had this happen on the other side of this one time. You know, it's on both sides of the fence. There's that rain I was talking about. But something has stopped this from working. It looks like it just needs cleaned out. That float must be stuck down in there, so let's see if I can dig that out real quick and get this flowing again. But this is not a great system, I guess. So we'll cut a gate in this side of the pond over here, and then I'll be able to, you know, fence them off of whichever side. Does that make sense? So this pond will be accessible from basically 3 separate paddocks. I'll have a gate for each of them, and then I'll be able to close them off so that they can't get into the other ones. So, all right, let me get this uncovered and we'll see what's going on in here. Not sure why this has stopped working. Float valve got stuck. So my understanding of this was that it was like a shared gallery here between this side and the other side. That does not appear to be the case. The other side is still completely full of water. This side, of course, was dry because the cows drank it all. So that's what this actually holds. There's barely any water compared to what the cows need, but it's supposed to constantly refill. For some reason it didn't. It wasn't the dirt that had it clogged up. There was actually barely any down in there. But so that's problematic. So probably just the exact same problem as the other one. This doesn't get used very much, and so it probably just got kind of stuck closed. All I did was literally just grab it and kind of pull on it, and it immediately came loose. So yeah, not great. I don't love that. This was working yesterday. It was still full of water, and they were fine. So, you know, I don't know. Must have sometime today, I guess, got clogged up or stopped working. I may need to figure out how to replace those floats in there. So I'm noticing there's a piece of pipe sticking up right here. I don't remember if I'd seen that there before. I'm going to bet, though, that there's a valve down in there that I can turn the water off to this, and then I'd be able to replace those float valves, or, you know, whatever I need to do in there. So, all right, it's working again. Rain's kind of picking up, so I've still got hot wire in the pasture right next to my camper strung out. I'm gonna go ahead and go take that down real quick, even though it's raining, no big deal.